What we have been waiting for so long has almost happened. Some of the most mysterious creatures of the Marvel Universe are about to hit movie screens. And you can be sure, they will stay for a long time. Of course, I'm talking about the Celestials too, that appeared simultaneously with the birth of the universe. Their true origin is shrouded in fog. And despite numerous rumors and legends, no one knows for sure who they are and how they were born. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has only thickened the cloud over the history of the Celestials, giving fans only bits of information about these powerful creatures. We still know too little about them. And the only thing that can be said for sure, at the moment, they are the strongest entities of all that we have ever seen in Well, if you don't touch Kong. Hence the question arises. Will the Eternals, with all their might, be able to cope with the awakened Celestial? Most likely, yes. But is there at least one hero in who could compare with the Celestials in strength? And this is a much more interesting topic for conversation. Therefore, sit back and save a glass of your favorite drink. Now I'm going to tell you about the only superhero that the Celestials are afraid of. But before I answer the question asked in the title, we need to delve into the history of the Celestials and collect everything we know about them at the moment. For a long time, nothing was known about the fate of the Celestials of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Only a few hints gave us to understand that these cosmic entities once existed after all. For example, the city of Oblivion was founded inside the head of a dead Celestial. And the dump on Sakara absorbed many body parts of the fallen Celestials. We practically didn't see any living Celestials. And only the films about the Guardians of the Galaxy allowed us to see at least a little of the appearance of these ancient creatures. So, in the first Guardians, we were shown Essen the Seeker, Celestial, who owned the Power Stone and used it to destroy the planet, which he considered unworthy of life. In the second part, we did not get acquainted with the Celestial from the legends at all, but with a real, living and powerful Celestial in the person of the Ego. Using the example of the Ego, we can also judge the level of power of the Celestials. These ancient creatures are immortal and incredibly strong. According to the Collector, the power of Celestials is not measurable at all. But what makes them truly one of the most dangerous forces in the universe is their ability to manipulate energy and matter. They can create any items, from weapons to your own armor. Any wounds on the Celestial's body are instantly healed. And the only way to destroy the Celestial once and for all, kill his brain. Although, according to the description, it may seem that it is almost impossible to overcome a Celestial, especially for a mortal. In practice, we have already seen how the Guardians of the Galaxy managed to destroy the Ego. This means that the Avengers, and even more so, the Eternals have every chance in a fight with these ancient creatures. But can any of the superheroes stand up to Celestial on equal terms? No. None of those heroes who are represented now by nobody. Except maybe one thing. But in order to understand who exactly, we need to delve into the grains of information known to us about the celestial bodies of the KVM, and understand in more detail about their connection with the Infinity Stones. We have already talked about a job seeker, keepers of the Power Stone. And until recently, it was believed that Celestilla was the only one who was able to cope with the energy of infinity towards me at all. In the end, it was the celestial genes that helped Peter Quill not to die from contact with stones. And in Armir, Nebula described as the cradle of the entire celestial civilization. Moreover, if we didn't know before if the Celestials were alive and why they were hiding, the final trailer of the Eternals gave us the answers we needed. From a long sleep, these ancient creatures were awakened by the click of the Infinity Gauntlet, which awakened an unprecedented surge of cosmic energy. We know from the comics that the Celestials have existed since the very beginning of the universe and have largely shaped its appearance. KVM also explains that the Infinity Stones are the basis of the universe. It's not clear exactly whether the Infinity Stones spawned the Celestials, or whether they simply used them as tools to create worlds. But the answer to this question is the key to the solution. The second, no less important key is Thanos. The Eternal, struck by the curse of deviance, is a kind of creation of the Celestials, albeit indirectly. And Thanos' crusade for the Infinity Stones and his subsequent triumph puts him on a par with the Celestials themselves. And not only in comics, but also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Using the Infinity Gauntlet, the Mad Titan even surpassed the Celestials in many ways. After all, he chose to include not only their power and ability to manipulate reality, but also control over time. In the comic called The Victory of Thanos, we have already seen how Titania deals with a group of Celestials at once. While not using the Infinity Gauntlet, using the artifact, the villain effortlessly defeated any of the Celestials, or even several at once. This could be the end of the video. If not for one thing. Thanos is dead, and the Infinity Stones in the main universe are destroyed. So if this meeting ever takes place, it is clearly not soon. But I didn't mean Thanos when I talked about a superhero capable of destroying Celestial. I meant the Scarlet Witch. It's no secret that from the very beginning, Wanda was introduced as one of the strongest members of the Avengers. And this was when her abilities were not even close to the peak of power. Already in the finale, she almost single-handedly destroyed Thanos, although before that the villain had defeated Iron Man, Thor and Cap together at once without any problems. But the Scarlet Witch really revealed herself only in the fourth phase, in the TV series WandaVision, when we saw the true nature of her abilities. Unknowingly, Wanda has been changing the reality around her for a long time. At the same time, it did not exhaust the witch and did not even require increased concentration from her. And even more. Towards the end of the series, it became clear that the whole reality created by her. This is not an illusion, but a matter that changes forever. And over time, the heroine has expanded her influence over thousands of kilometers around, covering most of the state. If the Scarlet Witch had revealed these abilities in herself earlier, Thanos would not have been able to collect all the Infinity Stones at all. But as you remember, this is not the end either. When confronted with Agatha, Wanda realized that she knew almost nothing about the nature of witchcraft, nor about her own power. Traveling through memories, the witch learned more about her connection with the Mind Stone, and how the artifact helped her unlock her inner potential. Having got her hands on Darhal, a book fraught with unprecedented power, Wanda was able to increase her knowledge, and finally get real power. In other words, at the moment, the Scarlet Witch, if not comparable in strength with the Celestials, then at least came out with them on the same level. It is closely related to the Infinity Stones and is even capable of destroying them. Her abilities are extremely similar to those of the Ego, and in the art of manipulating matter and energy, she may well surpass Sackville. In the same comics, the Scarlet Witch was able to rewrite reality itself, first elevating mutants, and then almost completely exterminating them. Judging by the latest events in the life of the heroine in Fiji and the team definitely lead Wanda to the image, by which we know her from the original source. Most likely, using the increased power of the Scarlet Witch, mutants are finally being led to the KVM. And once Wanda gains full control of her powers, she will become one of the most powerful forces in the entire multiverse. After the events of the movie Avengers finale, the Celestials awoke from their sleep. The first to encounter them will be eternal. But you can be sure, this will not stop the Celestials. Sooner or later, they will return to Earth again, and then the Avenger, their superhero ally, will have to cope with their invasion. I would like to hope that by the time of this fight, the Scarlet Witch will be on the alert, and will come together in battle with one of the Sile targets in order to crush him with her magic. And what do you think about this? Do you consider the Scarlet Witch to be the equal of the Celestial? Or in your opinion, there is not a single superhero in that could resist Celestial? Write about it in the comments. And of course, be sure to write how you like the trailer of the Eternals. Did you like it? If yes, then also do not forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, so as not to miss the new cool releases. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.